Okay. We are on it right now.
Hey, yeah, we're on it. Okay. So we were talking earlier about can you, I don't know how this came up, but like, can you love someone after they've cheated on you? And you had I feel like you had something to say about it.
Well, I think you and I
both have strong things to say.
Yes. Love is patient.
So wait. We're going to stop and we're going to say our answer at the same time. Okay? That's what we're going to do. We're going to say it once. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then say, okay, so the question is, can you love someone after they cheated on you? 1, 2, 3, and then spit out the answer at the same time.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Can you love somebody after cheating on you?
Yeah, okay, so can you love someone after they cheated on you? Ready? 1, 2, 3, no.
No.
Wait, where were you? You suck. Now I feel like a total asshole. Okay. No, I mean, this is obviously very complicated. Okay.
It's complicated because love, I think you learn about cheating with what love is and what lust is. And when you love somebody, there's sacrifice, and it exceeds whatever temptations come your way because you love that person. So when you go off and cheat, in my eyes, I believe there's already that cut, like they cut off the love aspect and it goes to lust because that temptation was stronger than that feeling of love to run out and do your cheating. And what happens is if I'm the one cheated on, you've now ruined that love bond that I have with you, where now I look at you and I'm so hurt by it that it can't be mended for me because now I can't even give you myself anymore. I can't give you that love aspect of myself. If I may get together with you physically, it would just be seen as lust and it would be quick and it would not be the unconditional layers of love because you've already cut that cord for me. And I think it's unfair for two people to sit in a relationship not being able to give their total trust and that love because of the feelings of hurt, resentment, lack of trust. So to me, no, not for me, because now I don't want to look at you. I don't want to be in the same bed as you. I don't want to look at you. I don't care if you're naked in front of me. Not happening.
You dirty. You dirty.
No way.
There's not enough Clorox in the world, right?
Oh my gosh, I've said that. I can't Lysol that body part, can I?
Did you hear about this woman who was so obsessed with making sure her partner didn't cheat on her that every time he would go out or go on a trip, she would write her name with a special marker on his genitals? Did you hear about this?
Oh my gosh, no! But that sounds interesting. That's too much for me. That's too much, but I get it.
That's too much. Yes. I think there might be some trust issues at that point if you're having to write your name onto someone's genitals, onto your partner's genitals, right?
Absolutely. So, Tony, summarize it for us.
Summarize. Oh no, we're going to summarize this in that way. Okay, I'm going to try. Obviously, that you know, can you love someone after? I don't even think you stop loving someone. So that's my answer first. That's why it's so hard. Because I'm like especially if you're really in love with the person, I'm still in love with you. And now, now I don't want to be. And now I feel trapped.
So
because I have to figure out what I'm going to do. Yes, I think that your whole reality is shattered. Yeah, I think forever. I talked about this when I talked about a different thing about cheating, and I was talking about how it will never be the same. And this is what people don't understand. And I know that from personal experience. It's the one greatest regret I ever have. There's a lot of things I look back and say there was a lesson I learned from that, and I did that, and I could forgive myself for that and whatever. But to do this to someone, because not only forget about me, it totally fucked up my partner. You know what I mean? And then And then it was a domino effect after that. You hurt me, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to hurt you back. Do you know what I mean? And it's just this thing that's endless. And then it becomes like a revenge game. And you're not out for revenge. I don't think a lot of people intentionally go out and they're just going to keep hurting each other. It's just that's the way it plays out. Have you had experience with that?
I definitely had. It wasn't a direct cheat. It was me, I guess, confirming that somebody was cheating because it was a long distance relationship, and there was denial until it was confirmed true. But it wasn't as intense as other people who've dealt with cheating, but I do know that I had gut feelings about it. And then when I confronted it, I was dealing with someone who likes to deny until we parted ways. And then it came out like later on, I'm sorry for doing that to you. And I wanted to be, and I think I even said, don't worry, I already knew. That's why we parted ways.
So the question going back to it is like, can you, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Sorry, Bo.
No, I was
go
say
ahead.
that with cheating, and again, it's something that is like it doesn't matter what you look like, what you do. You can be rocking hard at the gym, like looking hot, feeling yourself. It's not, I would love to help people understand it's really not about you. It could be about the chemistry between you and your partner. It can be about them not being, they're not whole. They don't know how it can be whole. Just to heal that part of people who feel so disgusted with themselves. I know I used to always put pressure on myself when it really was nothing about, it had nothing to do with me. And it's a part of life, unfortunately, and you can only hope to see clearer in your selections with people that you choose to date and invite into your life.
Yeah. So back to the question is like, can you love someone? Yeah, I think you do still love them. Actually, to be honest, I don't think that in that moment, even in the moment soon afterwards, you're still going to be in love with that person, right? Because it's almost like about it's almost like about polarity, right? It's like they pulled away. You feel even if you feel the gap. It's like they gave it to someone else, so you feel like there's something lacking in the relationship. So they've created a gap, and it's that whole thing. I heard credit to Susan Winter say, when flee they follow they flee, right? So. Their love felt like, So their love, you feel like it went to someone else. So now you're like your mind just, almost like it's like, now you feel you're just kind of leaning in, you're trying to get it back. It's just a natural thing for people to do. So I think the love is still there. I think the better question is, can you, I don't think, can you love someone? Yeah, you're still going to love them. The question is like, are you going to stick around? And then that's obviously depends on, there's so many factors in that. We can't even go into that. You know what I mean? It's so different for everyone, and there's different stakes involved.
It's interesting because I always felt in my heart too, you're over somebody when they don't even create an emotional wave in you. You're kind of, it's hard to explain it like that, but like, you're not motivated by it anymore.
Yes.
You're just kind of like, okay,
and actually,
whatever.
No, that's a whole nother topic, but that's true. Is like, and when you don't care anymore, you've checked out, right? Then that's when I would question the person, like, where are you? Where's the love? Like, why are you still with this person if you don't care where they are, what they do, who they're with, right? So you stay, and again, it's no judgment, because you stay out of comfort then, right? You stay out of for other reasons that have, but is that love at that point? Then it becomes about like love changing into something else. So I guess we'll just wrap that up with that. So I just think the answer is, I just think love, you will love someone after they cheated on you. I don't think it's scientifically possible for you to stop loving someone immediately after they've cheated on you. And so, would you agree with that?
I agree. It takes
just curious.
A lot. No, I really do agree. Because again, you get through the hurt and pain, but I know the person who did cheat on me, I guess. I felt like I will always have a spot for you in my heart. It's just not the part of my heart that makes me happy anymore. Like, I wish you well. I'm, you know, moving on. I wish you well. It will never be like that again.
Yes. And I think
give you that love.
and I would probably, I think you and I could agree that for both of us, if that ever happened again, it would be very much I wish you well. How soon can we extract you from my life? Like, what do we need to do now to make that happen? Right? Right? Would that be fair to say that we both? I feel I know you to say that. I feel you know me, right? How soon can we wrap this up? I have right. Sorry, go ahead. See, I was going to say.
No, I think what makes it hard is, especially now in a time of social media, people go through the healing process and they bring it to social media, where you want so hard to get back at somebody and show them, look, you cheated on me. Well, I'm going to show you that you should regret yourself because I'm hotter than ever. Meanwhile, that motivation to create that in you still shows a part of love, because that person lit that fire in you to do it. And sometimes if that's what that person needs to start a journey, good for you. But what's interesting is you also notice a transformation in yourself. What started as I'm going to go on this wellness journey because of that jerk who cheated on me becomes I just learned a lot about myself through this difficult time. And I learned that I'm resilient, and I learned that I was able to push myself to start something new to benefit me, even though it started off as the motivation from getting back to the motivation of I gained something about myself, and I'm in a fear spot, or I'm in a whole spot. And I think that's the dangerous part, when people find that wholeness from within, and it's a unique switch. So I can't view I really can't view it cheating anymore as the pain, because sometimes that is what you need to restart, to press the refresh button on your life.
I think it's fun. I mean, whatever the motivation is going to be to get you to move forward, to meet through it, you know, if you were talking about getting your revenge body or, you know, whatever that's going to look like, you know, that's great. Use it. And then one day it'll change. And one day, you know, it's that thing where it's like, oh man, I mean, everyone had that moment where you realize, like, I don't love you anymore. Right. Like, I don't feel that way anymore. And that's such a beautiful moment. But you'll get there. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think that's the piece I want to, you know, I definitely want to put out there in the world is like, it feels like it's going to last forever. It doesn't. It won't. You'll get through it. You'll get through it. It just doesn't seem like it. The mind can't get you. You're just trying to wrap your head around it. But yeah, I definitely believe it's something where you need to work on yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You're in survival mode. It's a survival thing, right? And you have to go full deep dive into you first. And through that, there's a sense of strength you'll get out of that. That is not only good for you, but then is also attractive to other people, right? Because then when you're so focused on you and all the things that make you you and all those things that are you, I mean, really just find out what that is about you. Like, really sit down and write about it. It's like, you know, when you think back to when you were a kid and all the things you loved and the things you lost through time, and like, what is it that you love? And then and then focus on those things, become those things, and then you're going to attract someone who loves that about you, right? And then that's potentially someone that's your match, right? Your better match, right? So, I mean, yeah. But until then, I mean, you know, we'll just, do you have anything else to say on this?
Do you feel like people who have cheated, let's say I was cheated on and I'm still so in lust now with my partner that I do want to work on it because I'm confused. So we try to, but you just learn about yourself through the process and you know it doesn't work. Do you think that there are a lot of people who can recover and that cheating did build out this new relationship, that their partners are they've healed whether it's therapy or whether just they needed to clean up a communication issue, where now like that cheating really brought us to the next level. Do you think that's a common case?
No, actually, I heard a study on this, and that's why there's obviously, our feelings and our opinions, and then people who actually study this through the years. And what they found is the percentage of people who survived the infidelity and became stronger, and it actually was a reboot for the relationship, was I want to be very conservative about the number. It was somewhere in between like I want to say like 10 to 15%, maybe 10%. Yeah. So the reason I say that, okay, you're not shocked by that number, 10%, let's say 10%. It was low. And so that's why, Nicole, I say to people, like, let me explain this to you. Like, it's like when you go into a marriage, it should be something that people really focus on, not focus on cheating, but the consequences of it, right? And what it can do. Because when you're talking statistically 10%, and if you really love this person and you know that you're going to do this one thing that can destroy your relationship and have a 10% survival rate, if you knew you were going to get a disease or you were going to get something and you had a 10% survival rate, would you do it?
You don't do it. I don't think anyone can really, it's very unique, but it would take, anytime someone gets together from cheating. I heard a unique story about two people who cheated on their partners and they're now together and they're happy and good for them.
Okay.
It's a very unique story. Yeah. It's not something that I think you would preach to people because, again, it creates some kind of shame. But sometimes people are chosen to have that path, and that's fine. And may it be an easy transition.
I agree.
But
yes,
there's a part where I think any partner, like those two people who had to create that risk, there is a part that makes you question sometimes. Were we just vibing at the same time that we both knew this is what we needed? Or were we settling and were we settling in our first relationship and now we've come to terms with, we found each other? It's like, it's such a rare situation where you want to how do you tell people this is how we got together? And yeah, there's a success rating to it when the numbers are so low, like you presented in that study of people even mending relationships after cheating. I don't think if you put on a dating app, imagine if on a dating app it said, you had to admit if you've cheated in a relationship, do you think people would click still? Or do you think there'd be a lot of matches? Because, hey, you cheated me too.
The question is, do you think people would be honest?
Well, yeah, would people be honest? And if they are honest, would that create more? Like, should there be something on an app that says, I have cheated in my past relationships?
And even if you had yourself, when you asked me that, if someone said, have I cheated in the past, I wouldn't want to be matched with someone, even though I know I had.
Right.
So what does that say?
It's one of those things. It takes some inner work, inner healing for yourself too. Can you confront and be honest? Because then if you go on a date with somebody, I'm sure someone's going to want to know your story and your past. I think a lot of people kind of want to gather information about you and try to put together what was this person's dating style. Are they someone who was cheated? Like, what kind of emotional baggage am I getting myself into to understand this person? And I think that's totally okay to have that realization. Like, hey, people have had things happen. People who've cheated in high school, do you write it off as, okay, that was young and immature? People who cheated in their 20s, is that still young and immature? Once you hit 30, you're expected to be married with kids and have a normal dating life. It doesn't happen in your 40s. You're supposed to really know yourself.
It also depends on, I think that it also depends on a lot of factors, but I was going to say just even the difference between gay people and straight people. And one's not, I don't want to say it's more acceptable than the other, but within gay culture, we're so wired to believe you better be ready. Like, I mean, and some people won't admit that, but to find someone who's going to be really faithful to you, I mean, I know that for me, it's like, that is just, it's like, it's really difficult to believe that some guy, is going to, is going to want to like stick it out, it's definitely something I even brought up with my partner is like, okay, listen, are you one of those people that like, down the line, you're going to want to open it up?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because what happened was when I started this relationship, I'd have a lot of older men say like, oh, that's really cute and you're in love. But, down the line, it happens to everyone. Can you imagine if you said that in straight culture? If I said to you, hey, Nicole, but down the line, you're going to have to open up that.
When I was younger, I think I'd cry about it. I think because, again, you just experience life, and sometimes you want that honest tea, is what I call it, honesty.
Yeah.
I think that what really healed me, actually, was one of my gay friends telling me in my 20s, I feel bad for heterosexual people because there's so much pressure to procreate from your relationship, where in gay culture it's very light and lax because the pressure is not there like it is for straight people. And again, he can be right or wrong, but it did put something in my head that said, you know what, that's so true. If we remove the pressure of possibly creating a family with that person, would I allow myself to engage in a fun, lighter perspective in dating where, hey, I can have fun, there's no pressure? Would it be easier for me? Or do I need to still continue to narrow in what I want and have standards because eventually down the line it will need to get serious? It was a very interesting thought to consider in my dating life.
Well, what was the answer?
I understand my nature. I like to have stability. I don't like inconsistency in behavior with friends and in relationships. So friends, acquaintances, or people I am dating. I need consistency, especially when I start unlayering and sharing deep thoughts and sharing my life. I need to know you'll be there because I think I'm recovering from some abandonment issues myself. So
Okay. So here's the question. If it's like even the topic of it, right? And this is a little bit of a leap right now from the last time, but it's like even the topic of this person being with your partner being with someone else, right? So let's say it could be as small as noticing him looking at a waitress doing a double take, right, on the waitress who just walked by. Or it could be something like him asking, what do you ever think about a third? How would that make you feel?
Thinking about them intimate in the bedroom?
Yeah, like they're asking you, like your partner says, hey, Nicole, like, I was thinking, like, don't get upset now. All right. It's never good when it starts off like that. Don't get upset now. They got to preface it. Don't get upset. But, how do you feel if, we brought in a third? I guess we try it out on our anniversary.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't want to come off judging. But I have.
Well, you are.
Before.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen right now. I don't mean to be a judgmental bitch, but here we go. Right now. Go.
I cannot judge, but I am possessive. Like, what's mine is mine. I don't share toys. I don't share lovers. I don't share. If we're in this, I'm not sharing. It's mine. And maybe that also shows I like you enough because I don't want to share you. So I would have a hard time. I would have a very hard time with that. Yeah. Not because I'm jealous, though. I'm sure I think the other girl is gorgeous and be like, oh, my God, you're so gorgeous. We're about to have a threesome. But I'm possessive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop being intimate because now it's your turn. Like, no way. Get out of here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's the same thing. It's like, I don't want to say, and we get labeled that though. That's so easy to label someone who wants to have a monogamous relationship as being either possessive or insecure or not open-minded or provincial. No, I've never heard these words before, by the way.
Yeah, but what cracks me up is it's really not. I think people have to understand, like, it is really not insecure all the time. Maybe everything's different. There's always going to be a different side.
Yeah.
It's not insecure when someone who is in a caring and loving relationship wants to just enjoy that within themselves. And again, there are people that do meet their match that allow that free love mentality, and that's wonderful. Good for you. But when you find somebody and especially, again, for me, understanding that someone's into threesomes, I already know if this relationship's not going to work. And I had to ask that question on the first date. Is that bad?
Yeah. But think about it. It's like going to, I don't know. It's like being a kid and going to a jungle gym. I can't believe I'm using this metaphor. And just saying, like, not a jungle gym, but, like a playground. And you don't want to play all the games, right? You don't want to play. You like this one game. You like this one thing. And that's what you like. I mean, that's what your thing is. But to say, I need to be into all of it, or I'm narrow-minded, I celebrate. I mean, honestly, you're a prude. Because, I just think that I'm like you. I'm definitely like, I don't want that. That's not what I want. You're coming home to me.
Do you think it's weird to ask that on a first date? Because I need to. I need to know what you're about, because I can't waste time. If you're into that, I can't do that for you.
No, I don't think that's weird at all to ask. In fact, I think you should have a little card, a little thing in your wallet or on your phone that you kind of secretly go through these questions, like, what do you think about this? Oh my gosh, are you joking? Like, what are you doing? Like, time, especially at certain ages for most people, like your time is precious. And to get to I wouldn't say have the list of like 100 things, but get to the top 5. Like, what are major deal breakers?
Yeah.
And if you got to throw it out there, honestly.
I think when you reach a certain age too, again, you don't want to waste time. And when it comes to intimacy like that, you really don't want to act like you're somebody you're not, because it will be a deal breaker if someone does believe you're into that and then you shy away from it, because then that person too, like, like, let's put our heads in that person's head. Oh, I'm into threesomes and you're acting like you are and you're chill and you're not. Like, that's a deal breaker for them too, So for me, I learned as I got older. Yes. No wasting time. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. With gay guys, that is, especially I would say for your generation, there's a lot more people that are into like polyamory. And so there's almost, I feel like going into when I was going on I had a few dates with guys that were younger than me, and I felt like it was more of the assumption that you would be more open to that than being monogamous. Like, that it wasn't like this is a relationship, this is something that will turn into a relationship or a monogamous situation. The feeling is that we started from the place of it being more polyamorous. Like, that was their assumption, and that's why I was like, I could feel that, I could sense that soon after. It's just a kind of lackadaisical way they talked about love, and just feeling it is very limiting. The old ways and all those old people my age.
Right.
Those Gen Xers, man.
Oh my gosh. I'm like right in between it. Like, I've witnessed New World and Old World. And what makes me laugh is, like, For my age group, like, it's just hard because we knew what one way was, and now we're trying to make sense of this new way, especially people trying to date and trying to navigate like different preferences and more flexibility with polyamory and threesomes and just there's a larger spectrum when it comes to the intimacy and what people are trying to seek with connections. And even to think people, like, we're going back to cheating. So how do you feel about cheating? How about people entering a threesome relationship for the first time? Is it something where you feel cheated on? If, let's say, you're the first person, you know, in this threesome, and all of a sudden your partner is with that other person for a very long time, and it looks like it's just like popping off, and you're hanging out there, like, I think it kind of highlights the same emotion of, I feel like neglected. I think it's a neglection. I'm neglected in this right now, and I feel like this person's beating me.
I agree, and I've actually read a little bit about this, and they, you know, I just assume they deal with the same problems.
Yeah.
It's not like all of a sudden it's like I'm more free because I absolutely actually believe that. I'll stand by that. Just because you're in a polyamorous relationship or a threesome or a foursome or whatever, that now you're free from all the confines of problems that one would have in a romantic relationship. I don't agree with that at all. Like, I don't believe that's real. Like, I believe you will have either different problems or the same problems, and they will manifest in a way that I couldn't begin to understand. But when you're dealing with that many personalities, it's like a band.
Yeah. No, it's like, so true. It is a band. Oh, my gosh. Why did the band break up?
No thanks. Why did the band break up? I swear. I'm like, no, one is enough. That's enough for me. That's enough of a problem that an average person can deal with all the stuff you've been raised to believe in your little world. And then you take another person from their little world in all the ways and, you know, that they were brought up and socialized, and you put these two people together, and and you're trying to make that work. Like, that's why love is so amazing when it works, is because it does feel like chance. I mean, I'm very spiritual, but I just think when you have it and it lasts, or people that have multiple loves, like, oh, I had a love and it was 30 years and the person died and I got another one. It's like, you're lucky if you can get one that works. Where's this love shop? You know
oh my gosh, I never knew what a love shop was.
What do you mean?
Loved.
Is that a word?
I don't know. If it is, let's make it. If it isn't, let's make it. The love shop.
Okay. The love shop.
The love shop.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
You see, and this goes down to my psychology with why threesomes didn't work too. I always was so focused, like full on zoomed into the one person I liked, and unfortunately, I couldn't even see if there was another good-looking person. I'm already like full on zoom in on the first one. Yeah. And for people, like when they would say, "Oh yeah, I'm struggling with these two guys," I'm like, "Two guys? I wish I had a crush on somebody else because this other one's not giving me what I need." But I'm so intense like that, and that was a part of me I didn't like. I think as I got older, I got lighter. But my point is, like, I was the type of child. Even if we have to go back to childhood, I had a toy, I loved it to death. Then I get another one, one, you know, as time goes on. I wasn't like let me put all my hands in the bowl, in the party bowl. I just was so hyper-focused on one. But for people who can allow that love in, I give you a lot of support because to me, that's not easy. And maybe they look at me and think I'm not easy. Like, oh, man, you're one person, one at a time. How boring.
And you know, I was thinking about, like, if you had the option to live in alternative universes, and you could hop from one to another, right? And you could live multiple lives, right? Then would you do it, right? Then would you partake in polyamory and threesomes? Maybe you would, like, just because you're like, I'm going to be able to try it out and see how it is. But when you know that time is limited, you know, and it's finite, and you have this time, especially like, how are you going to spend it while you're here on this planet? Like, you got to weigh it out. If you believe this is your one life, you're going to weigh it out. Like, am I going to spend it, like, am I going to take the risk on someone else, leave a relationship, you know, cheat, and then, you know, be with someone else and start all over again? Or am I going to stick it out with the person I'm with and make this work? And it's a personal choice, but you have to, there's a huge consequence. But if you had the option just to like a video game or something, or you could just go somewhere else and go to another universe, another game and play and see what that's like, that's great. I don't judge that at all. I'm just saying, like, but people make these decisions based on time and what, you know, right? I mean, would you agree to that? Yeah.
I think there's a level of comfort and loneliness too, because I slowly in my later 20s understood that you could potentially have 2 soulmates, 3 soulmates, where I grew up thinking you had one soulmate, we got each other and that's it. We ride to the end. Where now I totally understand phases of life, and even going back to love, I believe love, you find somebody who learns how to grow and adapt with you. And if you both evolve together, then I think that relationship lasts. And if you drift, I think there is a sign in your heart where you can tell yourself, we are drifting and we do not have to sit with this anymore. And maybe if people understood that, there wouldn't be cheating. When you actually recognize me and this person really don't mesh well anymore. We have outgrown each other and it's okay. And maybe that temptation will kind of be diminished because it's so normalized to allow yourself to understand you have outgrown that person and it is fine. Yes. And both of you are not trying to work on it. You're both just checked out. It leaves a lot of room for temptation to come on in when you're not satisfied in your love life and in your relationship. Temptation loves that.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I'm not a fan of the whole thing, like what I don't understand about the the idea of a threesome is that like I just got myself just thinking about it. It's like, talk about that. It's like, I caught one of those moments, Nicole, where I'm like,
it's like, now I just hurt my own feelings thinking about this. The day was good until I thought about this.
Yeah. I just think, I know, I just had a moment where it was like, did I really want to go down that road? And I just thought, oh, wow, okay, I don't really want to go on. I was like laughing at your own joke. I'm laughing because I was thinking what we were talking about the other day and putting things out there and go, you talking about that? And I'm like, oh shit, you almost just went down that road.
We took a deep dive into this road.
It really was. It really was. And so, to wrap up the conversation on, can you love someone after they cheat on? Obviously, we addressed a lot of things. So, I mean, it's really interesting. It's like, but that's what's so beautiful about these conversations is that you learn about the other person and you hear something you never thought about before. Or they said something, or you said something. Right? Or you like, oh, I didn't know I thought that way. Or I never thought it was that. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever just talking to someone and all of a sudden you just think, that I never even thought that way, or I don't know. So it's I think that I think it's were you saying something? Were you going to say something? Did you want to add something to the end here on the topic of cheating?
I will give support to anybody what makes you feel aligned to your true essence. If threesomes is good for you, that's awesome. If cheating is something that you can heal and deal with, clapping for you. That is wonderful. And also, I love hearing people talk about their experiences too, because I learn too. I'm an open observer and learner, so I give everyone the blessing to just understand where your take is and also just act to what feels aligned to you. And if you need to experiment, go for it. But I addressed myself, and we all know how intense I am. So
Yeah, and that's it. That's that on that. You have anything else to say? That's that on that. That's I think we covered a lot there.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, happy Friday. God. All right.